Okay, take a deep
Hello.
breath.
All complete.
All right, welcome to Transit Talk, Human Design Transits, real talk in real time. I'm Kathy.
And I'm Ankara.
Ankara's filling in for Jess this week while she's exploring castles in Germany.
We meet up about every 6 days to explore the current human design transits and how they're actually showing up in our lives. And we would love for you to join us.
We're talking energy in the moment, what we're feeling, what we're noticing, and what the transits are stirring up inside us and all around us.
So, whether you're joining live or catching us on the replay, we are so glad that you are here.
Let's get into it.
Hmm.
Okay, so I'm going to say I am feeling this gate of the standstill energy that I am representing. But I've got Ankara Rose here, the creator of the Success Codex. If you guys don't know what that is, you definitely want to check that part out in her bio and stuff. It's a really amazing creation of hers. But Ankara is representing the energy of gate 11 here. And I invited Ankara to join us today when I found out about this fantastic thing she is doing that's releasing with each transit. And so I'd love for you to tell us one, how you feel yourself representing gate 11, quick,
Mhm.
and then also just give us a little teaser about your
Yeah, absolutely.
goodies.
So, I came with this beautiful background because to me, this is kind of the epitome of 11 at its best. And so I'm bringing this energy of creation, ideas. There's like a channeling and a flowing of information and concepts. And that's really how I operate. We're going to get into this later, but I do have the 1156 channel. It is alive and well in me. And I'm excited to be sharing not just human design perspective, but some of the Success Codex language around these gates today, because I think it brings like a slightly different angle. And so what Kathy was talking about is, I think it was about, I think it was in 2023, I spent the year creating essentially a song or a frequency calibration for each of the 64 gates, gene keys. I call them key codes, right? So with every single transit, I was creating these sound frequencies because it was so important to me that while we are exploring and learning about these gates and these gene keys, that we have a way of connecting with them beyond the mind, right? Beyond the, I have to figure out the information, I have to remember what the definition is, all of these pieces. And so they're called frequency or key code attunements that you just listen to. They're about 6, maybe 7 minutes long. And I'm releasing one, with every transit of this year. Well, I guess 2026. I started. This is the third one that was released today. So it's on
Yeah,
Spotify, I think it's even on YouTube, all the
yeah,
links.
and we'll have to put a link to, I have your website, I think, set up to be linked in the notes for sure, but maybe we'll put a link to your YouTube channel or something where people can find them.
Okay.
Um, Yeah, someone just told me about it this week, and it was really interesting because I had been feeling this energy of like, oh, Jess is going to be in Germany, and Jess is doing so many things, and so often she'll try to make it work. And I'm like, Jess, I'll find somebody. You just enjoy looking at castles and running around Germany, and it's later there and everything. And so, but yet I was like, who am I going to ask? Who am I going to ask? And I really had this feeling of like, I don't know yet. Like it was really clear to me that the answer would be revealed. And then it was like, I think it was, wasn't it like Wednesday that I asked you or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Tuesday night I went to bed thinking, you still haven't asked anybody, but you should just ask somebody. And then I woke up in the morning and a friend said she was really enjoying your um, I don't know, sound frequencies for each of the code, the keys.
Mhm.
And I was like, I did not know she was doing this. I
What
knew
are
you
you
were a
talking
musician.
about?
I knew you were a musician. I knew you were, about the Success Codex. I mean, you've been on my Real Human Design Stories podcast. I just adore everything about you. And how did I not know this? Um, so yeah, so once I knew, I was like, this is it. It was like I had instant clarity. And there's a part of me that was like, you're not waiting for your emotional authority. And I was like, no, I know her. I know
Yeah.
everything about it. I went and listened to the one that had been released for Gate 26,
Mhm.
and I was like, this feels really good.
Mm.
So, here we are. And I don't know if it's because they are sound frequencies. Would it be weird to try to put it on in the background while we talk? Or are there lyrics at all in
There's
some?
no lyrics. There are
Yeah, I
some
didn't think so.
vocals.
Yeah.
We could definitely do that. Maybe yeah, I mean, we could do it in the background, but it might be
Maybe
distracting.
let's do
Yeah.
this. Let's wait until maybe at the end we will play one it.
Sounds
How's
good.
that?
And I have it actually queued up, so I could, if
Okay.
I share my screen,
Yeah, so I
we
think
can listen.
although, it might have been good for me to listen to it in the beginning, I was so frazzled. So I am representing the gate energy of gate 12 today.
Mhm.
And I kept trying to think how I was going to do that, and the universe decided to do it for me. So I purposely decided I was going to wear black, which anybody who knows me, I don't really wear black unless I accent it with a lot of colors. I did a very, so my idea was I was kind of going for that melancholy feeling
Mm.
for me. Um, but I also know that this energy, this gate of caution, is, so much like things will happen when they're supposed to happen.
Mhm.
Don't push things before they're ready. This
Mhm.
caution of not using your voice too quickly, too freely.
Mhm.
And I had the biggest fiasco trying to go live and get this stuff set up. Um, and it's been a real interesting thing. And I think it's important to kind of share the whole idea with people that um, this is hard. Like so many people do this stuff and they make it look so easy, but there's so many moving pieces. And I'm no spring chicken, so learning how to do all this tech stuff and the idea for me of going into YouTube Live was a new thing, but I thought this will save me from my perfectionism. I will not keep editing and trying to fine tune each thing that I'm doing every 6 days. It was too much.
Mhm.
So, um, this gate of the standstill energy, this gate of caution, feels really important in honoring your voice and not trying to force it and push it. And I feel like that's part of why I've made the decision, and Jess agreed with me, that after today, we're taking a break for 2 weeks of the transits. I'm going somewhere with my husband next weekend. If anybody's in Asheville, I'll be there. I'd love to see somebody if anybody's interested. But we're going to Asheville, and I just don't want to be caught up in all of this. And so I feel like that's part of the energy, this energy of really knowing that you're here to do things at the right time, say things at the right moment. And sometimes
Mhm.
the right thing is to not say anything. And so hopefully that's going to be the thing with the next two transits is not saying anything is the right thing to say.
Yeah.
Um, so that all being said, I wanted to warn everybody that Jess is usually my techie person for all the sharing, but hopefully this is going to come up. Yes, so here we have our lovely little, um, nope, that is not the right one. That's what I thought I clicked on, but we're going to close that one. See, I opened the two things I needed, but somehow when I click on the thing that looked like I was, okay, let's do it again. Hello. So, tell us a story on car while I
Yeah.
figure out what the hell I'm doing. Why don't you want to start talking a little bit about gate 11 while I get
Can,
the visual up here?
yeah, I would love to. So I'm going to speak about this gate through the Success Codex language, if that's okay. And
Yeah, do you
then,
want to just take a second for those who don't know what the success code
yeah,
is and tell them
absolutely.
briefly what
So,
this is?
yeah, so, I spent a long time working with human design and the gene keys, and most of my clients and peers were entrepreneurs. And so what I found was, well, first of all, like kind of like nerdy me who likes to go down rabbit holes, one of the things that I just always loved the most about human design were the gates. So gene keys, of course, next natural progression. And I love the lines as well. And I want to say the edge that I kept on coming up against in my business with my clients was the language of these gates and the gene keys. It just wasn't connecting to everyday way that we would use these words, why it mattered to them in terms of like growing a business, right? We can learn these concepts. Human design, we can shape human design to be for business, but it wasn't originally created
Yeah.
to be that, right? So essentially, what I did was I created my own system. We're looking at the planets, not all the same planets that are on human design. We've got a few astrology points in there too, but all the planets through this context of how can this help me as a leader and as an entrepreneur. And so we're looking at those gates and planets. And then I reworked and retranslated all of the 64 gates into language that's very human and easy and accessible because I personally care very, very deeply about accessibility. To me,
Yeah.
this is magic. And if we have extra roadblocks than are needed, we're keeping people from accessing the wisdom that's there, right? If I need somebody, if I have to pay somebody to translate it for me, if I have to give tons of time, tons of energy, tons of money to learn the system, well, then I'm keeping a lot of people away from it. So, I mean, this
Yeah.
is kind of how my values come out through this, right? And so let's dive into 11 here because 11 in the Success Codex has the genius of ideas. It's the archetype of the idea generator. Like this image to me represents it, right? There's a human brain. I don't know if you could see that. There's a human head, and all of the ideas are
Yes,
coming out of the
it's
head.
beautiful.
Maybe they're flowing in, maybe they're flowing out. But when you are in deep alignment with key code or gate 11, you'll be tapping into that energy of being prolific. So prolific. The ideas are flowing. The creativity is flowing. It's a lot. I'm just going to say that it's a lot and it can be and feel like a lot. And what I find is that when we are attached to those ideas, well, I had this idea, so I have to go do something with it. Or this is the best idea ever. Now I need to go make money with it, right? That's a big one in business. Or I can't find the right idea. The flow of ideas can become overwhelming. It kind of gets bottlenecked. It kind of starts to make us feel stuck or overwhelmed. Overwhelmed is the sign. Mentally, cognitively overwhelmed is the sign that we're out of alignment with key code 11. And so,
Yeah.
just kind of coming back to the process of creating the Success Codex, like I look back and I think, how the hell did I do that? Translating all of those words and creating all these materials and doing all of this stuff. But in the moment of creation, I wasn't like, I have to go do this and I have to do that. And with my checkbox, I was open. I was open. And not everything that came through stuck. There were a lot of words that I came through for these translations for the gates. They weren't the right words. If I got caught up on everything that came through, needing it to be perfect, I'm
Yes.
stopping the flow, right? So I bring this in because during this week, as we're all experiencing this energy, like one of the things to notice is like where is my needing to get it right blocking the flow, my creative flow, the flow of ideas? So that's number one. Number two, where's my attachment to making something happen with these? Making me feel overwhelmed, right? And so we kind of it's an invitation to hold these ideas and hold them lightly. I'll talk more about like how this fits in. I'm also a songwriter, right? And like it's the
Yeah.
same thing. It's the same thing. I mean, I could talk about that now, or I could talk about it later.
I'm totally feeling everything you're saying. So
Yeah,
I'd love if
yeah.
you feel the inspiration to go into that. I think that's fine.
Okay, yeah,
Or not fine, I hate that word. I think that's lovely. And
it's
we'll,
good.
I stopped sharing the little um the little screen for a minute, but actually let's do this. Let's go back to that and go into flow because then we can go into some of your
Then we
music.
can
So
go
let's
into
just
more
go
depth.
through the like run through the little bit that we do here. Um, and hopefully we're going to share the right one now. There we go. That should
That's
be it. But
it.
I've got probably got, does it have like a little block or something for my, does it have a black box on it somewhere?
I don't see a black box.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Because I know sometimes that happens with the YouTube Zoom stuff in front of it.
Mm,
So, okay, so we have the sun in gate 11, which, we've talked about how there are many names for things. And I don't know if you have a different name did you say that you have something different that you call Codex 11? Because in traditional human design, it's the gate of ideas. In I Ching, it's peace. In
mhm,
quantum human design, it's known as the conceptualist. And, you know, at first glance, those things feel very different, right? But
mhm.
after listening to exactly what you said, I feel like you've already described all three of those elements in that
Yeah.
description, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So and we have the hexagram here, which is earth over heaven.
Mm,
And so, there's a little bit of to contemplate in the hexagrams here. So I always just kind of we voice what they are. And in the gene keys, this takes us from the shadow of obscurity
mhm,
to the gift of idealism, and the highest expression is light,
mhm.
which just feels like that, I don't know, that image that behind you, right? I can totally see that there.
Yeah.
So, and it's part of the quarter of mutation, which is about transformation. So
Mhm,
for those of you who are tracking how we're moving around the wheel. So then we have the opposite side, right? So when we look at the mandala, we always have polarities. So we have this gate 11 that the sun is in being grounded right now with this energy of gate 12, which is the gate of caution, the gate of the standstill, also known as the channel.
mm,
So, I was joking about how I felt like I was really in the standstill, but
mm,
that's, kind of trivializing what this is about. But this energy of gate 12 is really the gate of the poet in a lot of ways.
mm,
So
mhm,
I can see as a songwriter how
mhm,
this gate is so powerful paired with this gate 11,
mhm.
right?
Yeah.
So this energy is the only individual emotional throat gate. So, okay, but if you think about it, Ra has said the two most powerful channels are the channels that go from the emotional solar plexus to the throat. Those emotional manifesting channels are the mute. And then we know that the individual channels are where the mutation really happens. So this is a highly mutative gate.
Mm,
And so it's important that we don't get caught up and the shadow's always going to be there, but get caught up in that shadow of vanity because it's a
mm,
powerful, powerful energy. It needs to be used with discrimination, and the
mm,
highest expression is purity.
mm,
So I'm wondering if let me finish this part here, and then I'll stop sharing and ask you to share a little bit about Codex 12, the way
mhm,
you view it. So this one is, as always, the polarities are going to be the exact mirrors for the hexagrams. So we have heaven over earth, right? And then this is the quarter of civilization, which is purpose fulfilled through form.
mm,
It's very different than the opposite. So these polarities always work together. That's why they're referred to as programming partners.
mhm,
So when we look at them and we see how do those shadows play off each other? How do the gifts work together? And how do we reach those highest expressions together? It's a really interesting thing to contemplate this week. How is my vanity, my obscurity, how does that work together for me? How is my idealism and my discrimination working together? And just taking that to purity and light. So,
mm.
um, Do you need this visual for anything, or I'd love for you to
I
tell
mean,
me
you
your
can
thoughts on it?
leave it up while I'm talking about it just briefly, right? So if
Okay.
I use the language of the Success Codex, we call it Key Code 12, has the genius of impact. And it's the archetype of the artist. In alignment, you are compelled. And what I mean by compelled is compelled to create, compelled to share your artistry. And no, this doesn't mean art necessarily. It could mean art, right? It could mean like the art of math. I don't know, right? It's
Yeah.
not, it's really about bringing your own it's in the throat center, right? So it's expression and manifestation, bringing through what you want to create. Now, the crux here is that 12 creates an impact, but not through trying to create an impact. The greatest impact comes from 12 when 12 just allows itself to express and create what it is naturally drawn to express and create. And so the out of alignment cue, the way you know something's a little bit off with 12 is the word is affected with an A. Affected, like I'm trying to be cool. I'm trying to make you feel something, right? It's the difference between an artist creating something that they know is going to trigger you on purpose because they want to trigger you. Okay, fine. Versus an artist that has a true raw feeling inside of them and they create a painting and they don't care that it whether or not it impacts people. The purpose is I'm getting what is important to me out through in this specific way, right? So, I don't know if one is necessarily better than the other, but let's look at kind of what happened just now, right? With like trying to get online, right? The pressure to make it perfect and to make it like, it has to go smooth and it has to have this kind of quality and impact. We see this all over with AI creating these picture perfect visuals of people. And what do we notice about that? When you look at AI, I'll say like AI generated images of ourselves, right? And I know there are a lot of creators who use that. So no shade, no shame. But I
Right.
am more compelled to see you with your wrinkles and if you have pimples and maybe your hair is out of whack. I want to see the real you. It creates a more powerful impact for me because that is the authentic representation of you, right? So I don't know if this is all like if you can see, right? Like what does
Right.
this have to do with caution and standstill and the channel discrimination, purity? The discrimination here is your capacity to tell, am I creating this because I need something from you or I want to do something for you versus am I creating this because I am a creator, because I'm
Yeah.
a human being.
Yeah, and I think that's really beautiful because this whole idea of caution can come from a place of vanity and ego, right? Like I'm not going to say this because what if they don't like me when I say it, right?
Yeah.
That is different than saying I don't know if it's the time to say it. Not for that reason, but because you have not fully created what it is you want to say or
Yeah,
express, or
exactly.
it's just not, you don't have the energy to say it, right? The whole creative process is so deeply mutative that it changes us in its process.
Mm,
And I find for me that's a little tricky because I'm going to stop sharing right now
sure,
so
sure.
I can see your face better. With my design, I have the channel of contribution 1/8, which will be activated for all of us for a period of time later this week. And I have it in my notes, but I don't remember where, but it'll be in the description here. It's also in the Facebook group in the full report. But the 1/8 is this, I am the contribution. But
Mm,
it also, because of the other configurations of my design as a triple split emotional projector, with that as my only conscious channel, I verbally process so much. So knowing how to temper that with sharing things before it's time, but
mm,
also verbally processing in order for me to hear my own truth and feel into how it connects in my own openness, in my own body, in my own centers has been a lifelong journey.
Mm,
So I've often, in the context of processing, possibly overshared or shared too soon or shared with the wrong people.
hmm.
Does that make sense?
Totally makes sense.
Yeah. And so I feel like that's really a big gate 12 energy. And then that can also create this idea of, oh, I need to go inward and not share at all.
Right. If it's not going to be right, like it should be received and it should be in the right timing, and I don't want to burden people, and I want my ideas to be fully baked before I'm sharing them. All of these feelings, it
And
makes
if
so
you're
much
conditioned,
sense.
ooh, if you're
Yeah.
conditioned by that gate 22 energy in a way, also that gate 22 is the opposite side of the channel down in the solar plexus.
Hmm.
That
Hmm.
gate 22 energy is all about that fear of not having anything worth listening to or nobody
Hmm.
listening. And
Hmm.
I just had like a personal revelation about some things in relationships as I said that, where, you can feel like nobody's ever listening to you
Mm, mm,
if you when you don't have that energy and you're conditioned by it, like somebody in your life, that sort of thing.
yeah.
So yeah, so it's interesting. I always love looking at these through the energy of the transits and how
Yeah.
they feel, and then really also thinking about them. The mandala is such a beautiful thing. We just had it up. I'm not going to put it up again, but you can back up the video if you wanted to look at it. You know, when we go around the circle, we're not going in sequential order. So even though we have 11 and 12, you see they're opposite ends of the mandala. So we came from 26. We came from the ego center
Hmm.
in this place of integrity and no and a tribal energy. But 11 is collective energy.
Hmm.
Yeah. So t- now do you have the 26? I don't remember. I know I've seen your chart,
I
but
do not. I do
okay.
not have the
Yeah,
26.
I have the 26 as my Venus and my Mars on the conscious
Ooh.
side.
Conscious?
Yes, on the conscious side.
Ooh.
Yes.
Venus and Mars.
So
Traction and initiative in the success codex. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Mm. Hmm.
Yeah, so it's been really interesting as we go through all of this and contemplate these different energies, which is what I feel like going through the transits has been for me. It's just been a contemplation practice,
Mm.
whether it's in composing the reports and then having these conversations. It really allows me to contemplate these energies that I might not necessarily look at in my lives. And
Yeah.
then in my lives, yes, I've had many, but
Same.
right, exactly. But, and I also have, like I just had this aha moment while I was talking about gate 12 that brought up something that's going on with some other people in my life where I was just like, oh, yeah, I know the configuration of their chart and I know how that all plays into what I'm experiencing with them. And it just really gives you, I don't know, it gives you a different way to depersonalize some of the things that are going on with other people.
It does. And yeah, with other people, with what's happening in the world, like
Yeah.
the things that it's like when we're very, very close to something, sometimes we lack the perspective to see it clearly. Right. And so we're in the middle of this transit. Like everyone is. We all are experiencing this thing. We're so close to it. We're blind to it. The fact that we have this beautiful map and we can take a step back and give ourselves some perspective and then begin to look at the patterns because we have this beautiful, we see what the transits are. We can start to feel what the energy is. It's so empowering. Whereas, when we're not aware of it, okay, we're living our lives. Cool, fine, whatever, right? But sometimes we can feel like it can feel chaotic, or it can feel hopeless, or it can feel just overwhelming, or whatever it is. And this helps us to understand everything has its time, everything has its place. Things change. They change frequently, especially with the stars.
Yeah.
Especially if we're talking about the sun or the moon, right? Like they change quickly. So we want to be able to work with the energy without identifying with it, right? Especially because the shadows will come up. Shadows are going to come up. Sometimes you're going to be in obscurity. Sometimes you're going to be in vanity. Sometimes, or in the success codex words, sometimes you'll be overwhelmed. Sometimes you're going to be trying too hard and you're going to be affected. Okay. But in those moments, we are not wrong or bad. It's just a sign that there's a choice to come into deeper alignment. But we don't
Yeah.
see it if we're like, like right up close to it.
Yeah. So I'm just going to share, this is the current transits, or at least the transits as of um, noon.
Hmm.
I don't think anything's switched since then, although we are moving towards the end of the moon being in 32. It's probably in line, it might be in line 6 by now. The
Mm.
moon stays in a gate for about 11 hours. So, but you can see that we all have this feeling of the 1034, this,
Mm.
right? This channel of exploration, exploring ourself, really. It's this powerful energy of gate 34, the gate of power, connected with the something self. What the now the gate 10. It's the gate of self. I always call it the gate
It's
of
the gate
self,
of
but
self. Yeah.
it's the gate of something of self. What is it? The gate of behavior of the self. There you go. So there's a lot of, with this energy of gate 11,
Hmm.
all these ideas,
Hmm.
we can really feel this powerful energy attached with who we are in a way that can really make us feel like we have this need to act on all these ideas,
Mm. Oh
right?
yeah. The pressure,
Um,
there's a pressure for
yeah,
sure. For
right.
sure.
And so when we look at that energy and we say, is this really our idea to act on? Is this the right time? All these things, like our strategy and authority will still kind of be the thing, our intuition, our gut feeling, what our waiting for clarity type of thing. And that whole waiting, I don't know about you, but that waiting for clarity thing, you're emotionally undefined, right?
Yeah, I have a totally open emotional
Totally
solar
open. I couldn't
plexus.
remember if it was
Yeah.
totally open.
Yeah.
Yeah. But for me, that learning what it really means to wait for clarity has been a lifelong process. But, I didn't find human design, or it didn't find me until I was already well off the roof. But
Mm.
it's been quite an interesting thing to realize that clarity doesn't come from me thinking about the ideas.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
And, that beautiful array of colors that's coming out behind you, if you think about it too much, they're all just going to mush into a bunch of mud.
Right.
Right? You'll lose the beauty of them because
Right.
something's going to stand out. Something's going to land as yours and something else is going to land on somebody else, or,
Yeah.
right?
There's a trust that's required here. There's a
Yeah.
trust. And when I think about the fact that when I think about the fact that 11 is part of it's collective,
Hmm.
right? So think of what happens. This is just what's coming through. Think of what happens when you have a lot of really great ideas. I have to do this. I have to put it out in the world. I have to, me, 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 me. That's not the correct energy of 11. 11 is not individual, 11 is collective. There's a way that we, because we are so conditioned to think that everything has to happen because we make it happen, that we think that anything that comes to us, we have to act on. Whereas really, these are themes of the collective that are appearing through us.
Yeah.
They're moving through us. And we can't do all that, right? It
It's
is
so,
collective. Yeah.
it's so important
Yeah.
to remember also that there is no motor up here.
Right.
So even the individual energy,
Hmm.
the 43 43, 23, all of that has no motor to bring it out through the throat.
Yeah.
This requires others'
Yeah.
energy to draw it through to us. So
There is the pressure of
the
the head
pressure,
center, I think, can sometimes also skew
right? It
11 a
makes us
little bit.
feel that we're
Hmm.
supposed to bring it out, but
Yes.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So So I would love to hear more about your songwriting stuff,
Hmm.
if that feels like something you want to share about, like
Yeah.
where you were going with Gate 11 and the whole
Yeah.
idea of the song
Yeah.
creation process, how this has helped you, just the process. Does that
Yeah, I
feel
like
like?
here's what's coming through about how like the guiding question here is how can we all of us work in harmony with this 11 frequency this week, right? How can we explore really co-creating with what
Yeah.
11 brings us, right? And I'll kind of wind a few little pieces together, right? I remember when I think I was probably 8 or 9, my mom went to grad school and she decided to go get her master's degree. My mom is very, very bright, very deep, very philosophical. But when it came to writing a paper and getting her ideas down, she could not move past one sentence until it was perfect. And until that sentence was perfect, that was it. She'd be stuck on it. And then she'd do the next sentence. And then she'd have to reread the first two to make sure that it made sense. And the process for her of getting her ideas out was so filtered through this needing it to be right. And I remember sitting with her and like, as a little 9-year old, this is part of, my genius is I kind of helped her create an outline so she could start to get out of her way. But what is an outline? An outline helps you tap into the essence of what you're doing.
Mhm.
Period, end of story, right? It's helping you to organize your thoughts. But there's something about tapping into the essence that we, like, again, we're building this muscle of trust. How can I trust, one, that what wants to come through me is enough? Two, that the way I bring it through is enough.
Yeah.
And three, um, how can I trust it even if it's not perfect or even if it's not complete, that it's doing its job, right? And so I have been a singer-songwriter since I was 13. I'm 44. Many, many years. I have written over 2,500 songs. I
Wow.
stopped counting 7 years ago because it was too much, right? So you want prolific, there you go. There is no way that I could write even a single song if I was viewing my creative process and receiving these ideas and receiving this inspiration and sharing, allowing what wants to come through me, if I was filtering that through perfection, if I was filtering that through uh, trying to create an impact, trying to do something. This is the process of allowing. And for the 2,500 songs I've probably written 5,000 really shit songs that I never finished. I hope I can curse here, right? Things that started and they just weren't it. And some of those things that I started ended up being reworked into something that was beautiful and finished. And a lot of them just weren't. And that's okay too,
Yeah.
right? So it's like this week, like whether you're an entrepreneur or you're a healer or you're a guide or you're a mom or like whatever you do, whoever you are, my invitation here is, even though like 11 isn't classically related to detachment, I'm going to invite you to just look at your relationship with getting it right
Yeah.
because the 11 and 12 both have that theme, right? Whether it's out of the vanity of 12, needing to be seen a certain way, desiring to be seen a certain way, or whether it's 11, needing to be right, right? It is in the ajna.
I'm feeling the vanity of 12 right now as I'm looking at myself in this thing. And I'm thinking, there's a reason I don't wear black. Color theory matters, and the combination of like, if like when I do wear it, like I said, I usually put something bright, but I
Hmm.
intentionally was trying to be cautionary and
Hmm.
more subtle. And I
Hmm.
keep thinking, I look like I'm dead. Not. But yeah, so that's just my little distraction here.
Yeah.
Versus you in your black with all the color and everything around you, it looks really good. So, but I understand exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
I think it's a really powerful message that's going on right now. And it's important, I think, in the context of the time of the year that we're in, when you think about how all of these transits they're consistent from year to year, and we are in the week leading up to the winter solstice.
Mm-hmm.
And, then that is going into the end of the year, the end of the Gregorian calendar, and then we'll go into, after that, we'll go into the end of the Human Design New Year, and
Mm-hmm.
then we go into the Chinese New Year, and then we go in. Actually, that's called I was told last year, it's the Lunar New Year, I think is the
Oh.
more encompassing, culturally encompassing way of looking at what's known as the Chinese New Year. And then we also have then the astrological New Year. So we have
Mm-hmm.
all these endings and beginning
Yeah.
things that we're thinking about that start with this um, longest night of the year on the
Mm-hmm.
21st, and then the bringing in of the light,
Mm-hmm.
right? And we said that we're looking at the city of light,
Mm-hmm.
this transit. And so the end of the year, going into all these things. And this year, numerologically speaking, it was number 9 year, which is
Mm-hmm.
all about endings, letting go. And we're going into a number 1 new year, which is building the foundation and growing new things and starting something new. And, not necessarily, oh, everything's here, but we're working now to build from all that shedding.
Mm.
So we're in this place where all these ideas can be super powerful and helpful, but we need to ground. It's
Mm-hmm.
not go time yet. We have these ideas coming in, and I think it's a beautiful time to ground in this energy of what's mutating through me. What do I need to still let go of? Because we're still in this number 9 year of the snake, right?
Mm-hmm.
Shedding. And then we can move into all of this new energy and see which things are going to grow. And I think of ideas like seeds. Do you garden at
Yeah.
all?
I was literally just going to say, I just keep on hearing the word seed, seed, seed. They're
Right?
seeds.
And if you plant a bunch of seeds, you always plant more than you need because
Yes,
some do not germinate.
exactly.
And
And they're
no,
not meant to.
right. And
They're
no
not
gardener
meant
is
to.
out there going,
Hmm.
dang it, about those two that didn't germinate. They're taking care of the ones that are still living, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So, yeah,
Beautiful metaphor. I really like that.
yeah.
Um, there's like one more thing that's coming through if we have
Hmm.
time for
Yeah,
me to
sure.
share it. Yeah. So in the Success Codex, we look at the sun as your core essence, your primary genius, right? So if you're looking at kind of like your personal, what is the interpretation? It's also visibility, your brand identity, these kind of outward facing pieces. We look at Earth, we call it capacity. And
Hmm.
it's really about well, it is about abundance. It is about grounding. But really, what it's about is what is the edge that we're stretching so that we can hold more, so that we can shine more, right? When you think of the polarity of the sun and the earth, right? This is grounding us. It's kind of like that metaphor of like the deeper the roots, the larger the branches,
Right.
right? So, like another way to play with 12 this week is to really feel into like, what's the edge of the impact that I can create using Success Codex language, right?
Yeah.
Like, can I stretch my willingness to bring my artistry into the world without me needing it to affect you in any specific way? Can we trust our artistry? So there's that trust again. Same thing with right with the 11 and the 12.
Yeah.
So that, I just wanted to throw that in there too, because there is, can I trust my voice? Can I stretch the
Mm.
edge of my trusting my voice? Can I stretch my edge? When, most of us, I think in particular entrepreneurs, but I think a lot of us who are conscious and doing our personal work and our spiritual work and personal development, we stop so far before our edge.
Yeah.
We are really, really bad at predicting how far we can go. And we stop so early. so much earlier than we need to. We don't even know how far we can go. And so we keep ourselves in this kind of like safe little pendulum swing. La, 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 okay. But really, when we're cutting off our, the bad, we're cutting off the good, right?
Mm.
And so when we stretch, we're stretching our edge, we're stretching our capacity to lead, we're stretching our capacity to trust ourselves. And here, we're stretching our capacity to create without ego.
Yeah,
We're going to naturally be stretching our ability to create impact because we, especially in these times, we can sniff out something that's contrived. We can sniff it out. We know when we look at something and someone's trying really hard. I think humans are designed for that, right? Like
yeah,
desperation gives us the ick,
yeah,
right? And so we have to get over ourselves as artists and creators, um, or we're giving off the ick, right? The desperation and the clawing and the trying. It's not compelling. It's human.
yeah,
We don't have to beat ourselves up about it, but when we recognize that we're in that vibe, we really, it's like, it's so important that we come back to, well, what do I know is true for me? Why do I want to create? What do I care about? What do I want to see in the world? And let that be the thing that's driving us towards speaking, sharing, creating.
yeah. That's so important to remember. And I honestly, before we got on, when I was having all of these problems, I had to like, or I got to, what I didn't have to, but I
Mhm.
stopped for a second before I let you in, and I was like, remember why you do this. Like, I don't do these transit talks to have a perfect YouTube channel or to have things or whatever. I do them so that people can see how they can process this and they can maybe learn how they can contemplate energy or have a place where they can come and talk about it. Although I'm realizing now I don't see any comments, which makes me wonder if everything is even working right. But it all is going to be what it's supposed to be this time. And
Mhm.
that's what it is. And then I get to decide what I want to try the next time because
Mhm.
I am really in this place. And I was thinking of this morning. Um, Sunday is kind of my contemplate the energy morning anyway for the week. And I was thinking about how as we go into the new year and I start and I'm creating this workshop and a workbook that is about contemplating where you've come from, where you're going, using a lot of the metrics I just talked about if as of the different numerology years. I like to look at my tarot card for the year. My tarot card for this year is the Tower card for 2026. Like, oh, goody,
I
right?
love it. You're
Um,
like, this is going to be fun.
right? It's my normal we each have a tarot card that we associate with. Mine is the Chariot, which the Tower does reduce down to the Chariot. So I guess
Mm,
it's a familiar energy. I don't, and I'm not scared of that, but I know that it's a year of a lot of changing. And
mm,
so reminding myself that um, I get to do hard things, but I have to remember why I'm choosing to do them. And it's
yeah.
because not because they're going to make me some big star or celebrity or make me rich. I get to honor my energy and ask for money for a reading, for example, because
Mhm.
I'm a human who needs to be valued in reciprocal style. But I
Yes.
do it all because I'm in service to people who may not have that sense of trust in themselves. And, that's for me, it's all about helping others to learn radical self-trust and
Mm.
to show up and shine their light, even if they feel like they're doing it. Like I don't feel very shiny today, but I still got my disco ball over there, and all that stuff. But
Mhm.
so really understanding this energy, I'm babbling now and I've kind of lost my path of where I was going. But I know this morning it was very much like, okay, you're not doing all of this for that reason of being this success, even though that is the projector um, signature emotion, right? It's
Yeah.
success. But success comes for me as a projector when I feel the success of those around me, when I feel that
Mm-hmm.
I have been guiding energy successfully.
Mm-hmm.
Today, I did not feel like I was guiding the energy of this hookup of the thing successfully, and that was
Mm-hmm.
frustrating me. But the energy of it all being here, finding that balance, I guess, is a lot of
Mm-hmm.
what where I'm sitting with all of this right now. So,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and I think you're also speaking to like that question of why am I doing that? And listen, for some people it is fame, right? Like that is a valid desire that some people have. Not everyone
right,
has it, right? Like, but what I'm hearing is like you're not doing it for the success. Success is the, it's like the, it's like the,
byproduct.
yeah, it's the byproduct. That's the word. Thank you.
Yeah,
It's the byproduct. But then come back to 12, right? And the vanity and the trying, right? If you're trying to do it for success, it has a totally different vibe than what I'm doing is that I'm expressing myself in the way that feels really good for me. And I'm bringing the things that I love that I know serve other people. It's a totally different vibration.
yeah.
It's totally different, right? So this week also, yeah, as we're, going through, I think it's an important question of why am I doing this? Why does this matter to me? Would I do it if I never got any recognition? Would I do it if I never got any money for it? I mean, there's a question.
Well, my husband and I have had conversations about that when I've told him and he's like, it's not a business if you don't care about the money. And I was like, well, there's a difference between being a successful business and also saying, I do what I do because it's in my heart and I would
Hmm.
find a way to do it even if, but yeah, you do need to honor
Hmm.
your values in both way, shape, and form. But I know we're running out of time, but I really want to listen to your music. So how long is this track? Just so
It's
we can,
about 6 minutes. Let
okay.
me see.
So what I'm going to do, if this feels okay, I don't want it to feel rude. I'm going to kind of close out and then we'll just sit here and listen to it.
Okay, I
So
can
I'm just
also,
gonna,
do you want me to play it
no, I want you to play
here?
it.
Okay.
And that's what, so what I'm saying is, I'm
Oh,
just
we'll
gonna kind of
finish
let
and then,
people
yeah.
know that we are done with our conversation. So I just want to remind people that we're not going to do a transit talk again until December 30th. Jess Tilley will be back from, she's going to be back way before that, but I will be back. We'll be done. We're not doing one on Christmas Day, which is when the next, so we would have had one when I'm out of town and then the next one would have been Christmas. So we're going to do one December 30th is the tentative plan at this point for the next transit talk. And
Mhm.
somewhere in there, hopefully I will figure out how to better navigate this YouTube live scenario. And if not, it'll be what it's going to be. But meanwhile, is there a name for this track or do you just call it Codex
Yes,
11?
there is. So they're called like the Success Codex Key Code, and this is 11 ideas. So I'm going to pull it up. Let's just do a little test of the sound. And then once it's good, let's see, can you hear
I
that?
can.
Okay, it will get louder. Okay.
Okay.
So here's what I'm going to do before I actually play it. Let's just come into a little bit of heart coherence. So,
Yeah.
wherever you are, you can listen to this while you're driving. Just make sure you're paying attention to the road. We're not going to hypnotize you or anything.
Right.
But if you do have the space to just pause for these 6 minutes, and the invitation is for you to feel what it feels like in your body to receive these sounds. Okay, that's very, very simple. Breathe, belly breaths if you can. So breathing into your belly and exhaling. It's okay if your mind is going. Like there's no rules here. We're just receiving. Okay. So maybe place a hand on your heart for a moment. Take a nice breath into your center. Exhale and empty out. And I invite you to set an intention to receive. again, just taking a deep breath and coming back. Yeah. Oops, you're muted.
That was beautiful, and I just want to thank you for that. And I said I was going to close out with the music, but I would like to just add, is there a certain way you suggest people use that other than, just sitting with it meditatively? Is there any other suggestion you have?
I mean, you can have it playing throughout the transit. I think it's a
Mhm.
nice way. Like, typically what I'll do is I'll attune to it kind of on day one, and then it's just in the background when I think of
Yeah,
it. But if I'm actively working with that, right? Like, let's say you have this gate in
yeah,
your chart, or you happen to be working with it, just stick it on in the background and it will just help. Again, you're not supposed to understand it from here. We're reaching the attunement beneath the level of understanding, just helps to put you in the vibration.
right. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Ankara. I want to just say peace out and see you in a couple weeks.